Hello and good morning to you. This is Cliff Graves from Train Well Boxing. Hello, will you join me as I reveal each and every day of this week different health hacks that as a baby boomer are going to help to make you become optimized in life. I am 60. I was 60 in July. Okay. So I am a baby boomer, just like you. And let's do this. Let's do this in 2025. Just make a decision and just say, that's it. I'm doing it. And you'll be surprised where this will lead you. So, okay, right. Today, I want to talk about the importance of joint health, skeletal joint health. In that is quite an umbrella term because it covers quite a lot, doesn't it? But I am approaching this. I am not a medical expert in any way, shape, or form. I just want to share my story and impart some knowledge for you, all free of charge, no strings attached. Okay. So yeah, we are talking about specifically skeletal positioning, folks, right? Of our joints. In particular, the shoulder joints, hip joints. There's your two ball and socket joints. And then we've got like elbow joints, hinge joint, knee joint, and ankles. And would you believe me if I said to you, it all starts, in my opinion. Now, if there are experts out there, please correct me. But in my personal opinion, it all starts in the spine. It all starts in the spine. I used to work as a drayman, and so I'm quite tall, 6'1", right? And I'm quite lean. And I used to have to go down, this was back in the 80s, late 80s. I used to have to go down into little Victorian pub cellars where the ceiling was really designed for shorties. And often it would be landladies early in the morning, November, December, bitterly cold, and they'd say, "Oh, Drayman, would you help just shuffle around the barrels in the cellar?" So the answer to that was, "Yeah, no problem, I'll do that for you, no problem," because we just wanted to please the customer. So it invariably involved brute force, bending over and literally twisting and putting the barrels on top of this barrel, the Fosters on top of the Fosters, the cars, but moving it all around. And I started to develop spinal problems. And something that's quite common, because I was bending and twisting, there was no health and safety. You couldn't observe health and safety down in a cellar where the very, very low roof and a very, very low ceiling down in the cellars. And these Victorian pubs, London Victorian pubs, still to this day, those cellars will be the same low ceiling height. So it's brute force. And I did develop spinal problems. I injured my iliac, my sacral iliac joint, which if you look at the pelvis, not the hips, the pelvis, and where it goes in to that sort of triangle bit, into the pelvis, not the hips, into the pelvis bit. This bit here, the bottom bit, is where the joints, they can sort of like move out of alignment. If you're picking stuff up heavy, you know what I mean? And it was surprising, the knock-on effect that it had on me. I've always had quite weak shoulders. I've injured my shoulders before as well. Whereby, right, just the whole right side or the left side where the sacroiliac joint had sort of jammed, or in some cases loosened, but had moved. There'd been movement from this nice tight bit, right below where the coccyx bone is, actually in the pelvis. Okay. It can cause measurable problems, and my weak link being my shoulders would suffer. And what would happen is, supposing this is the ball and socket joint, right? My fist is a ball and socket joint. This is the ball and socket joint. This is the glenohumeral joint. It would slide forward. This is in proper alignment, okay? It would slide forward like that. That is known as anterior humeral glide. And when it does that, it slides forward. Guess what it does? Because think of your shoulder girdle complex, the skeleton, as all in one. You've got the clavicle here, haven't you? Joining up to the clavicle. Below on the back, you've got the scapular shoulder blades, haven't you? And so when this slid forward, guess what would happen to the scapula? The scapula would wing off the rib cage, causing instability. And then all the connective tissues surrounding the shoulder joint, going right deep into the rotator cuff, all sorts would start going on, right? So if you can imagine my shoulder, see how it sort of rounds it, makes it go round when it needs to be back, but not the scapula like a soldier would do, military position with the scapula like pinching together, back where the scapula would just sit either side of the spine with a little bit in between, sitting there hugging against your rib cage. Okay, it would put the shoulder joint out of alignment. The infraspinatus would stretch, and the subscapularis, they're the two muscles either side, rotator cuff muscles either side of your shoulder blade, your scapula. One would stretch and weaken, and one would, the subscapularis would tighten right up. And if you continued then eventually you was going to get strain, muscular strain, connective tissue strain, all emanating from the spine going out of alignment. Okay. What also happens as well is the rib cage. So you've got right here, and I'm touching there, that's my clavicle. Underneath there, you've got like what is known as the first rib 1 and 2. And that is very important for respiration, inspiration and respiration. And sometimes ribs 1 and 2 can clamp together. So you've got a misalignment now of your rib cage, all emanating from the spine. So what's the answer? Head for the chiropractor? Pretty good option, to be honest. Get you repositioned in your spine. It might take half a dozen treatments, but it will get your spine realigned. But how do you keep healthy? From it preventing from it happening again. You've got to look as a baby boomer at exercise from a health perspective, a health hack perspective. You've got to look at it from a postural perspective. You do the bench press, now you do the rows to sort of like balance out the exercise. You do the bicep curl, you do the tricep extension, you do the leg press for the quads, you do the stiff leg deadlift for the hamstrings. You've got to have an intelligently crafted strength training or balancing program, and we've given that to you, and I'll put the link down below for you where it's all detailed out for you. Something which I am following and doing myself, and I've actually been to the gym today, and I did session A. So this is what we've got to look at as baby boomers. We've got to look at the type of strength training that we're doing that is going to benefit our health. Health is a very much umbrella term. What does that mean? That means burning off, dare I say it, I think Professor Bart K would be not very happy hearing this, but the only way I can, for you people, just to get your head around, burning off calories. Weight training, progressive strength training is where it's at. We've mentioned this before in the other video, but stay away, whatever you do, just stay away from zone 2, cardio zone 2. Sorry, I thought that was somebody outside. Anything can happen here. These are very unedited, these videos, so they must be entertaining. Just stay away from zone 2 cardio. If you think running marathons or running long distances is doing you any good, then I'm sorry to burst your bubble. But you've been misinformed and misled by ignorant physical fitness coaches. It will only, for a baby boomer, increase your blood pressure. It will put pressure on your ankle joints. It will put pressure on your knee joints. The heavy, hard tarmac can be very, very unforgiving for a baby boomer. And we have to accept that that's what we are. All these 20-year-olds, people's sons, daughters, nephews, or whatever, we pray that they do. They will get to our age very, very soon. And it will happen quicker than what they can think, because I can remember when I was 21. I'm sure you people can. You've got to train differently. You cannot do the high volume stuff. You cannot do that. You cannot do that. That has got to go out the window. You cannot train to failure. That has to go out the window. You cannot do zone 2 cardio. That has to go out the window. You have to look at intelligently crafted progressive strength training programs as a way forward. You have to. It will increase your bone density. It will increase your muscular mass. You won't get like a bodybuilder, don't worry. I'll assure you of that, you won't. But we have to. So intense strength training, not to failure, will properly crafted, intelligently crafted, will, as a matter of course, help your posture, I beg your pardon, will help your posture. It will begin to realign joints, realign the shoulder joints, so they begin to naturally fall into place. So there's no anterior glenohumeral ride, movement forward, none of that. You have to respect your body. You have to look at things like, if you're doing a bench press, for example, and you come down to here, that's it. You know, you don't want to be going right away back here, because look where my humerus is. It's behind my body. That should not be your indicator of, oh, I'm doing I'm getting the most out of the exercise. Like I said to you before, your scapula, right? They will protract and retract around your rib cage, your shoulder blades, which, don't forget what's attached to the shoulder blades. Your humerus, exactly. So it's coming round and back, round and back, round and back, round and back on the rib cage. As soon as you go bang like that and squeeze it in and think that you're doing really, really brilliant job, in fact, you're not. Okay, so how you can actually sort of understand this is understand that you don't want to drive your elbows right back so your scapula pinch. You want to get it to it's just literally on the cusp where they have positioned themselves, the scapula. It's probably left and right, either side of the scapula, about an inch either side. So between both of the scapulas would be 2 inches. That's what you've got to do. You've also got to listen to your body, people. You've got to listen to your body. You have to listen to your body. If your body, for example, I'll give you an example of me, right? I was doing session A today, and I was doing pendulum squats, right? Which pendulum squats allows you to literally get your femur literally, so it's almost touching the back of your calves. So your hamstrings are almost touching the back of your calves. So you're almost sitting right down ATG, which is known as arse to grass, right? Or arse to ground. And then you drive through the plate, the foot plate, up to almost extended position. Now, although my back was pressed lower back. That's what I was making sure. I said, soon as I feel my lower back wanting to come off the pad, okay, I'm just going to use this calculator. I'm just going to use this calculator. I hope you're following me. I really do hope you're getting some golden nuggets out of it. This calculator is my hips. Okay. Now, what happens is when you get to your depth of a pendulum squat or a squat or anything like that, and you start to feel your hips anteriorly rotating, that's due to lack of core strength, lack of flexibility, lack of general strength. But in actual fact, we as baby boomers, we don't want to go right the way down. We're not Olympic lifters training for an Olympic lift, are we? We want it functional. Dare I say functional? Said it in fitness. But there we are. So we go down until we observe that if we go any lower, our exercise form is going to be shot away. And I gave you, I think it was 27 during this, which is, you'll see the link, don't worry. 27 different exercises. This is the beauty of going to a commercial gym, folks. Because in this commercial gym I go to in Exeter, there must be about half a dozen personal trainers in there, fitness instructors. And I've often said, excuse me, can you show me how to set this up, please? I forget what it was. That's what it was on the pec deck. I thought, can you show me? He said, oh, you lift that little lever up there. Ah, thank you so much. And then you set it to the stretch you want. Got you. Brilliant. Thanks very much. You use them because that's what they're there for. So you should, if it's not the exercises that we've recommended for you, you should be looking to start a intelligently crafted, well-balanced, postural, progressive strength training routine. If it's not from us, that's okay. Get it from somewhere else. All right. But honestly, you will find that strength training will increase muscular strength along with connective tissue strength. And if they're balanced, the agonist and antagonist muscle groups are balanced. Sometimes with rows, you need to do 2 rowing exercises, whether it's pull downs or horizontal pulls, to 1 push-in horizontal or whatever. But this is why I say, if you go to a commercial gym and you decide not to proceed with our advice, go to one where there's fitness instructors that have got half a brain cell, and they'll craft something for you, and they can even now personally train you. So there's other things that you need for exceptional joint health, and that is recovery. You cannot go to the gym as a baby boomer more than twice a week. 3 times is excessive. I'm sorry, it is. 4 times and you are overtraining and you will burn out very, very quickly and you become quite unwell. and you'll have no benefit to what you have done for the last 6, 7, 8 weeks, except extreme fatigue. Take a tip from a wise fool. I'm a 60-year-old. I don't know how old you people are that I'm talking to, but I'm a 60-year-old. 1964, that's when I was born, the mid-60s. Okay. There comes a time when you've got to put up the white flag and say, okay, all right, okay, fair enough. Let's do it your way. And that's what we offer for you. So when you're in your recovery, you can do something known as active recovery or incidental exercise. So supposing you like a game of golf, well, go and have a game of golf and love it and enjoy it. Or you want to go down the driving range, integrate it in. Look, if you're doing, say, a Monday at the gym and a Thursday at the gym, well, why not go Wednesday round the golf course to the driving range? There's always the weekends. Saturday, if you want to go to the golf course. If you want to take the dog for a walk over the park, take the dog for a walk over the park. This is incidental exercise. If you want to go wild swimming, which for me is, I couldn't do it, but there will be some that will want to do that, then go and do a wild swim on a Wednesday or a Saturday or something. You know, incidental exercise is anything that is in our day-to-day, which will enable all the joints and ligaments, the tendons to start to relax, because that's what you want. You want the inflamed muscles, tendons and ligaments from the previous intensive progressive strength training that you've done to recover. So whether it's a swim, a walk with a dog, a walk around the park by yourself, a walk around the park with your partner or family, or a little bit of tinkering about in a garden, then fair enough. I mean, if you're doing your gardening, don't go out and try and dig footings for the new conservatory extension that you're building, because that is going to be intensive stuff. Just incidental exercise, right? Which means what it means: a light swim, no jogging, walking, bit of light gardening, down to the golf range. Why not? It will all help in loosening up the body. Because the other thing that you need for extremely good, proficient, healthy, well-balanced joint health is we've covered the strength training bit. We don't need to go back over that again. Okay, we've covered that. We've covered the incidental exercise. Okay, you've just got to allow your body, inflamed body, to relax, basically. A lot of back problems will result from inflamed muscles. It's quite rare that somebody will suffer from a herniated disc. That is serious, and that is outside our genre, train well boxing genre. But if you just know that you've got a bit of muscular strain, you know, you're having your hot baths, Radox baths, you're getting some invocation rubbed in to your back, etc., etc. You've still got to do this incidental exercise, which will loosen up. Now, some people have said, what about yoga? Yoga's fantastic. But I think stretching like that for a baby boomer, for a lot, can become too intensive. We are talking about general activities described as incidental exercise that will loosen up and balance out, help to balance out, an inflamed, sore, and quite often than not, quite exhausted muscular system. Walking is fantastic. That's what I do. I will take the dog out for a walk and I just look around. There's fields all around, farmers, and I just feel so happy. I've done my bit for today earlier this morning. I've done it. It's over. I've been on the punch bag. I've done all that. I've had the hot shower. I've had the nice cup of tea. I've had something to eat. It's over. So anything I do now is incidental, classified as incidental exercise. And the third thing, which is important, we will be talking about this later on in the week, but I just want to touch on it, is your muscles will be inflamed, most definitely. After a challenging progressive strength training session, they will be. And if they're not, then you haven't challenged yourself enough. I'm talking about what the bodybuilder said, if any of you remember, Lee Haney. He said, stimulate, don't annihilate. And that is very apt for us baby boomers. Stimulate, but don't annihilate that they have to take you out on a stretcher. I'm joking. I'm joking. I don't wish that on you. But you know what I mean? So you can do a little bit of light incidental exercise. So you can do a bit of light cooking. You can do a bit of washing up. You can do a little bit of housework. You can go and take the dog round block. Now, I have been taking some very useful products that I have to be careful what I'm saying here because I'm not a doctor and I cannot make medical claims. So let me put it back, the onus back on me and say it has helped me with inflamed, sore muscles post a hard training session. So please, you will see the link in my description, in this video description, ClearFat Cerule, CERULE.com. Go and have a look at your leisure. Let Cerule, the company Cerule, educate you about the products as opposed to me. That way you've got it from the horse's mouth, haven't you? Okay? So tomorrow, at some stage, I don't know when, I will be back on with another health hack for baby boomers. Stay tuned. Hey, friends, please be sweet. Please encourage me now. I'm asking you to do something for me now, please. Would you be sweet and give me a thumbs up if you've liked this video? And even better, like and subscribe would be fantastic. Okay, so thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again tomorrow. Bye for now. Take it easy. Keep safe. Ciao.